You ever just have an idea that's just like you're laying in bed and you're like, this is it. This is what's gonna do it.
All the time.
And then once you have the microphone set up and everything, you're like, okay, like at least it got us rolling, but it's probably not going to be that great of an idea.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel about this one right now.
Oh, so you don't have a starting off point.
I do have a starting off point. Do you want to hear what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think in just a regular conversation, I don't think we were recording anything. At some point, I remember I said like the absence. Yeah, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
Okay. Yeah.
You remember that? Mm-hmm. And I remember like we were kind of on opposite sides of that, and I thought that was really interesting. Mm-hmm. And I thought that would be we could just go on that for a little bit.
If I remember correctly, we were talking about like religious stuff, right?
Yeah, I believe this was like the idea of a higher power.
Right. And I think my point, if I remember correctly, was you have to refresh my mind. I remember talking about this, but I want to say it was basically I was saying that so many people act as though, Jesus or a higher power being fact without any evidence.
Correct.
And their reasoning for people that don't believe that is, well, you can't prove that it's not true. And then I think my point was, well, you can't prove that it is true.
Right.
So therefore,
who's right?
Yeah. And your point was, if nobody can, because I think my point ultimately was, so by default, that would make me right.
Yeah, and I was on the opposite side of that.
Right. I think ultimately I would say I agree with you. I don't know if that, as I've thought about it, I don't know if that ruins the conversation then. But
no, I thought it was. I just thought it was really, really interesting. But yeah, it would be a longer conversation if we were still on.
No, I mean, like, I still disagree with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I can play any side of any conversation. That's ultimately what I would consider a strength of mine.
Yeah. Is that if you bring up something and it's just like, we're gonna get into it, and they're like, no, actually, I agree with you. He's like, well, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Have you thought about this?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too.
Well, that's kind of in general like what a contrarian is, no? Like, you're just constantly almost, I don't know the exact definition of it, but basically anytime then you get someone to agree with you, almost by default, then you have to now disagree with them.
Then who are you as a person?
Right. If the idea is that you're always going against what like groupthink is.
Right.
So if you get them to agree with you, then you
become a group.
Yeah, you now have to go back. You have to go to the other side.
God, what a tough lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean,
no, because I'm the same way.
I don't love it, but I find oftentimes where like I'll be kind of out there. I think like I'll be on my own, and then some people will start agreeing with me, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I don't know, maybe I don't.
I'm having second thoughts.
Yeah. I do kind of like being on my own, and like, because I think how it starts, how you kind of become that way, is that, at least for me, like growing up, you start being like, people just kind of agree and do things because that's what they're told, and that's what they. So like the idea of thinking on your own and creating your own idea, that becomes. I'm having trouble coming up with words lately. I've noticed. I don't know if there's, but like it becomes satisfying. That's not the word. I don't know, but it becomes something you want to do, basically.
Right.
So then if you get a bunch of people to start agreeing with you, you go, wait, and now I'm part of this, majority thought when I'm trying to. Yeah. That was.
It seems like. It seems like there's almost like a paranoia of like. Is this really what I think, or have I just conformed to the group?
Right.
And people that are from our perspective, right, in the group, seem to think that this is their original idea.
Yeah.
And I kind of resent that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'm like, I don't want to be that.
So why don't you then explain a little bit more, kind of your thing of the absence of evidence
the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
Okay.
Just because you can't prove something.
Explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader.
Yeah, and okay. You're such a weird looking fifth grader.
Look at me right now like I'm a fifth grader.
Hey, don't let anybody teach you a curveball until you're 19 years old.
That's the first thing you would say to a fifth grader.
If you with at your stature and your your build, right, like as a fifth grader, yeah.
Okay.
No, the simplest idea of that, I don't know. I mean,
that's a problem.
Just that you can't, yeah, you can't rule something out based on how many things, do we find out later, right? Just when we have other means of discovering things, right? That we just that we rule out in the past. Like, I don't know, the world being flat. I know that's still up for debate for some people. Yeah. Where you don't have to go down that thing. But
hashtag Kyrie.
Right. But you don't know.
Right.
Whenever I think of it, there's just a Boondocks episode, and you'll like it because it's Samuel L. Jackson is the character that talks about it, and he's just going off, and he goes from that to there's known knowns, and there's known unknowns, then there's unknown unknowns. Right. Things you don't know that you don't know.
Right.
I think that's kind of the idea.
Can I tell you, when I went to Taiwan, it took me from New York 15 hours to get there. And when I came back and flew into LA, it took me 10 hours to get there. That to me proved that the earth is round. But you know what I'm saying? That did it? I mean, no, but I'm saying that, it was honestly, I had a small moment in my head of being God, it was 15 hours from New York. And, New York I ended up flying to LA, but San Diego, LA, kind of same. It'd be a 5.5, 6 hour flight back. Yeah. It's going to be a 20 hour plane ride back. No, it's shorter because,
Yeah, because we just keep going.
Yeah, we're now closer. And I'm
right. I think but the important part about that though is that is your experience. That is you speaking on something that you have an hypothesis based on something you experience. Right. That's the scientific method. Right. Most people are just no, my second grade teacher told me that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I learned that so long ago that the earth is round. How stupid are you?
And I think
and ultimately I think I'm not a flat earther. I want to say that right now. I don't think the earth is flat. The most important takeaway for me is that most of the people that call them stupid don't know either.
Right. So, I think that was ultimately Kyrie's point, if I remember correctly, is that he not in his original statement, but I think went on later to be it was more about questioning things that you're just told as opposed to knowing for sure, as that he actually believed that the earth was flat.
Right.
That was my understanding of when they asked me about it later, that's kind of how he clarified it. He's I'm not even really taking a firm stance either way. I'm just saying I think it's good to question things that you're just taught growing up.
And that part I 100% agree with.
Right. Are you a conspiracy theory guy?
Mm-mm. Let me say this. I believe that some of them very well could be real. Right. Illuminati, some unseen people behind, making stuff happen, whatever. Government could be behind 9/11, whatever. I just
throw that out there nonchalant.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm just not gonna invest the time to find out. Right,
but in a sense, you do believe that it is possible. Essentially,
yeah. But when you say are you a conspiracy theory guy? Am I the guy that's gonna sit and break it down to you? Or tell you that you should think this too, or hey, go watch this hour video on YouTube,
Right.
Like no, and I don't.
You're not like one of those.
I don't do the research.
You're not like one of those where like if you say something, I don't want to pick something like super. Okay, a common one is like the moon landing, right? Like
Yeah,
some people.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not one of those where it's like, yeah, and because I think Neil Armstrong. I feel like he was in the news something or recently or something like that. If I was like, oh, like Neil Armstrong, like the first guy on the moon, you'd be like, no, that didn't really happen. You're not one of those guys that would come back with that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of wish you were.
At worst, I'll point out that like there are conspiracy theories that say that is not the case.
Can I tell you my take on conspiracy theories? At least nowadays, this might sound stupid. I don't want to say that anything's not possible, but I think my thing now is with stuff like that. It's like I feel like that would have come out like definitively by now if something like that happened. Like,
right?
You're not really able to keep secrets. I feel like you were back then.
I think there's a layer of secrecy.
You think so?
Somewhere there's a yeah.
I don't know. There was a whole thing a few years ago. It was like the director of the CIA, like big scandal, like leaked or something like that. And like the director of the CIA can't keep.
Aren't we just finding out that aliens are a thing?
I mean, that's a whole another thing.
But I thought like I remember I watched the thing on Bob Lazar or whatever, and I thought there was starting to be like a concrete like stuff coming out of government agencies that like there have been UFO.
I have not seen the same thing, but I don't know. I've seen people be like they think they are.
Yeah. Oh, people definitely think they are.
Well, I have not seen anything where it's like
anything definitive.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I think what I have seen a couple of like, yeah, we can't necessarily explain that.
Right.
But in your absence of evidence kind of thing, it's like the fact that we can't explain it doesn't then mean that you're right in what you think.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's your explanation.
Yeah, like what was this thing flying or whatnot?
I hate that so much about those like. I don't even know if you call them, well, they're not documentary, like the search for aliens on Netflix or something like that. You know those shows where they kind of present,
I don't watch them, but
they present like they basically present these like theories as fact.
Yeah.
And then a lot of and you realize like the path to get to their conclusions, it takes all of like there's like 5 like how do you explain this?
Right.
On their way to,
Right. There's a lot of how do you explain this? Pause, no answer. And then people like kind of take that as okay, that's the answer. Right.
Yeah.
But that proves my point.
No, you know what it's like, it's like could aliens have come, have come and this is what they would have done.
Right.
I don't know.
I know Rogan's a big aliens guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know
Rogan, it's worth asking the question.
Right. I mean, I don't think it's like a crazy thing to think about. Crazy than anything else that's going on.
Like the thing for me about aliens is like I can't imagine that they're not there.
Right.
Right. Like I can't imagine. No, just in the universe. Right. I can't imagine that we're the only like intelligent or planet with intelligent life.
Right.
But I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole of like, was this a UFO? Probably was.
Yeah.
All right. If they didn't want to say what's up, they didn't want to say what's up.
So you don't. It seems like your stance is more you don't care. Like you're like, yeah, if they're out there, they're out there, Well, so you don't buy into like if they are out there that like we probably should.
I think ultimately, I think I get I kind of
strike up a friendship
at the end of all of it. It's like, what is it doing for my taxes?
Well, because there's not a lot of movies that portray aliens as like
homies,
as like the good characters in movies. Yeah. Maybe E.T.
Oh no. No, it's what's it called? Avatar.
Right. Okay.
Where we're the invading species, and they drive us out. Yeah.
No, there are a couple, but the overwhelming number is like.
But the idea
they're here to attack us.
No, but even in Avatar, we are attacking them. There's never just one where it's like, hey, hey, like, and then life got better for everybody.
Right.
Because of course that doesn't make a movie.
The idea is that, well, so yeah, so the idea is that one species is attacking the other species, essentially.
Yeah.
So I think that's where...
Arrival, they came to help.
Is that definitive?
Yeah, they came to help.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I remember, remember, like, Amy Adams being like, no, they're good, and, like, we should help them, but I don't remember that being a definitive thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say spoiler alert, but I know you like it's been out so long. Yeah. You think we're past the statute of limitations
for a movie. You get a month.
Yeah. Okay. So no, Amy Adams. They give her their language, which gives her the ability to kind of like navigate or like see into the future, basically.
Yeah.
And then that's how she saves everybody. And then the idea is somewhere down the line, humanity saves them. That's why they did that.
That was a great movie.
That was. Really
I should watch that again because I don't remember it that well, but I remember really liking that movie.
Yeah.
But but I'm saying like maybe this is more on like the Marvel or the superhero movies, but like the aliens are always the bad guys. It feels like.
I mean, yeah, 9 times.
So that's why I think when some people hear, "Oh, UFO," or "Are there aliens?" It's like,
are we in danger?
Are we at war? Essentially,
right.
As opposed like we just have no idea.
Yeah.
People don't like not knowing. That's kind of
people are uncomfortable.
Going full circle of your absence of evidence. I'm not going to get it right at any point. Okay, it was the absence of evidence, whatever it was. Yeah, the idea that if you can't prove something or you know something, people don't like that.
Yeah, people don't like saying I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
People cover up I don't know with a lot of
this is my opinion on it, and that makes it fact.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Can I say something? Switching gears a little bit, unless you want to keep talking about this.
I was gonna say I was gonna ask what do you think aliens are like when they show up? Are they gonna walk on 2 feet?
I gotta be honest. I don't. I think I'm when I see it, I'll believe it kind of guy.
Yeah, so you don't believe in aliens until they show up.
It's not even. I don't spend any time thinking about it.
Right.
I guess would be my thing. I'm not. I don't have a stance either way. I'm not a this is what it is or this isn't what it is. I have no idea, and I guess we'll all find out together.
Right.
Type of thing. Right. As opposed to like, oh man, yeah, I've been thinking about this nonstop. I think it'd be like this, or I think it'd be like that. I'm like, if it happens, yeah, I'll react to it. You know.
Right.
What I mean, do you have like a? Is there a specific movie or something like that where you look at it and be like, that's what I think aliens
That's what I
like?
think aliens look like? Yeah. I think it'd have to be, I mean, just because I think it's probably my favorite one, it'd have to be Arrival.
Right, so, because that was really the first one, at least maybe I saw, where, yeah, it wasn't like any resemblance to a person.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
You know, they're more kind of like...
Kind of look like a hand.
Right, but they're more just kind of like floating, you know...
They're more like octopus.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, most of them up to that was like, you know, an alien still had a face... You know, it's still like
they wore a suit or something,
or if they were like a slimy kind of creature. You know, it wasn't so. That's kind of what you think an alien's like. It sounds like you really like Arrival.
I'm a huge fan of Arrival. Right. If you haven't seen Arrival, go check it out.
So that's what you think an alien's like.
Yeah,
I think I was always brought up because of the movies I would see where an alien would still have somewhat of human features to it, which now as I think about it, I don't like as much. Like, I'd be a little bit disappointed. I would rather it be like Arrival, or rather be like...
Was it, or like or I could see it being like the Day the Earth Stood Still?
I don't think I've seen that movie.
They basically just, it was Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves was the alien. Like, they like a pod showed up and...
What a career that guy's got.
Amazing. What do you call a discography for an actor? Is that what it is?
I don't even know what that word means.
That's like I know for music that would be like all of an artist's albums would be their discography.
I don't think that's what it's called. It would just be called. Can't think of it. I don't think that's what it's called though.
Okay, so that for an actor,
IMDb
he has
page.
a cool one.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, his IMDb page.
Well, do you consider him a good actor? Let's get into Keanu Reeves now. I think most people would say like he's had a great career of a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But like he's not a great actor, or is that he's such a good actor that the roles he plays, like, this is just what the role calls for.
Yeah. I mean, how do you define greatness in an actor? You know, there's so many
Question.
like, because I remember having this argument about like Will Smith and Denzel Washington, where it's like, you know, people like me, I'd be like, you're crazy if you say Will Smith. Like, it's Denzel, right?
Oh, I thought for a second you were going to say Will Smith over Denzel.
Right. No,
we got a different conversation.
But then someone will bring up like, yeah, but Denzel's just Denzel in every movie.
So here's the thing. So I'm rewatching Entourage right now. Great show. Yeah. And there was actually a part in it not too long ago where Jeremy Piven's character Ari Gold, the agent, was talking to Vinny Chase, and he was at a crossroads in his career, and he was basically talking about, you know, do you think I'm a good actor? And the agent was talking to him about the difference of a great actor versus a movie star, and that there's a difference,
right,
or a superstar.
Right.
Where I think a great example of how I look at Will Smith and Denzel is Denzel is a great actor. Will Smith is a movie star.
Got you.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not to say a movie star is not a great or
movie
good
star
actor.
Could be a good
It's
actor.
just different.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of hard to explain. It's like, yeah, Will Smith in a movie, that's box office.
Right.
We're all going to see it.
Right.
But it's not, there's just a different level to someone like a Denzel. Or, you know, like a Christian Bale. Right. Or, you know, something like that.
Denzel with Christian Bale?
Yeah. You think that's disrespectful to one of them?
No. I don't know. I'm thinking of Denzel movies.
Christian Bale's got more range than Denzel.
Right. Denzel's like, man, I just don't know how to rate him. Because it's just...
I just put him in a group of what I consider the elite of the elite.
Because at the end of the day, for me, it's like, was the movie good? And then I'm like, that's a good actor then. Right? Like...
Yeah,
I know that's not right. It's kind of like watching a football. It's like the Patriots. How good is Tom Brady, right? Without,
right.
I mean, I know this is dated now because he won the Super Bowl with a different team.
Right.
So how good is Tom Brady versus the receiving corps and the coaches and everything? Right. How good is an actor versus the script and the director?
Right. So that's where I would go, especially with where I view the elite actors, is if I see a movie and I'm like, that was good. Basically because of him or her. Like, they carried that movie. And if you insert another person in there, it's not as good of a movie. I'll give you an example. And that's where I feel like Denzel... the first movie that came to my head was John Q. You ever see John Q?
Yeah.
And that gets you.
Yeah.
The idea of somebody else playing that role, I'm like, then this is just kind of a cheesy movie.
You don't think Will Smith could have done that?
It's just a cheesy movie then. It's just kind of this is unrealistic. This is like Denzel makes you believe, you know, makes you feel as not even someone who is a father, what he was going through, like as a father. Like, to me, like, that's a great actor. Yeah, there's only a few people that could do that.
There's it's funny because I feel like in the last 4 episodes, like basically for like the last few weeks, like everything is just referenced to me like a Jared Carmichael bit, and I haven't watched a Jared Carmichael stand up in a minute. But he did one on Denzel where he was saying, I want Denzel to play every important black figure in cinema, and he goes like, I want him to play Rosa Parks. You know?
Oh, that's funny.
And it's like, but no, you're right, because John Q does not. It doesn't work.
Right.
Really.
Even like I would go through a list of Remember the Titans. There's a lot of good sports movies.
I feel like Forrest Whitaker could pull off John Q.
It's not even. I don't want this to turn into an anti-Forrest Whitaker thing. It's not even that other people. It's just that like the level that he takes a movie.
Yeah. Like
Remember the Titans. Like there are good football movies. There are good high school football movies. There are good. Friday Night Lights is a good movie. There's good sports movies. It's like the level that he takes a movie that would otherwise just be like a decent to good movie to like, this is one of the all-time classics.
But here's the question: why? And this is funny because I hate sounding like I'm like ragging on Denzel because I love a Denzel movie.
He's your father, so
no.
Keep
actually,
tagging.
But
Keep
no,
tagging.
but like, God, that pisses me off so much, dude. I don't know that bothers me. But anyway,
that bothers you that I said that, or that bothers you?
No, just that whole thing.
Right.
It's like, did I tell you that? Like,
Can we say it so people listening to it don't think I just
I
because
get
he's
tagged.
a black man?
I get tagged.
called him
I
your
get
father.
tagged in like in comments and like posts on Instagram, like probably like on average, probably 3 times a week. No, that's not true. On average, over the course of a year, it's probably like 1.5 times a week. Over John David Washington,
Right. Which is Denzel's son.
which is Denzel's son,
Right.
who is also an amazing actor.
Right.
Check out, was it Malcolm and Marie? You haven't seen that yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I also haven't seen Tenet yet, which
I haven't seen Tenet yet either. I got tagged in that a lot.
Yeah.
That bothered me.
Yeah.
So and I get tagged in his stuff, which is it's amazing. Like how, like it's kind of cool in a sense. Like we
Right.
both have. I don't like to brag, but like I like having a verified profile, right? And like it is a little bit of a source of pride,
right.
and it's like,
That's why.
what are the
happening.
chances? Yeah, what are the chances that like, I'm getting mistaken for somebody?
Because somebody types it in and they see the blue check mark and they're like, oh,
Of
it must be.
It's a baseball player, but he's never been in a baseball movie.
They're not looking that closely.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I don't want to get. You were about to say something about Denzel.
I was gonna say, well, I was saying that I love Denzel movies,
Right.
and God, now I lost my train of
I'm
thought.
sorry. That's my fault. I'll take responsibility for it.
What were we talking about?
I was basically saying that I think Denzel takes every movie to
Yeah.
makes it better. And
I was gonna say,
you were
so
like, I don't want to rag on Denzel.
Yeah. So, okay, I don't want to rag on Denzel.
We can actually just go back and listen to it if you want.
Nah, we should have one of the. What's the person in the courtroom?
Oh, dude, there's something wrong with my brain right now, man. I just can't think of words.
It's a weird time. It's a weird time in our lives because we don't have practice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Typer.
Courtroom typer lady.
Courtroom typer.
I
don't think it's always a woman.
And it's not even always a woman. I'm so sorry to all the women out there.
Okay.
Oh God, now we can't get famous.
Or we can get more famous.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. What I was saying was, what is the difference of like that effect that Denzel has and like the effect that Will Smith has? Because Will Smith has a similar effect where like, yeah, like, okay, his movies are maybe like resonate with a different crowd sometimes,
right? Or
like, whatever, but like same thing.
All right, I'll give you my answer.
If Will Smith's in a movie, it's he brings it to a new level.
If Will Smith is in a movie, it's entertaining. When Denzel is in a movie, it's a classic. And I think that is ultimately the difference between them.
Give me a more, I don't know. Like, I feel like entertaining and classic are not.
So, like, Marvel movies to me are entertaining. Superhero movies are entertaining.
Right. No, but I'm just saying, like, classic is such a... Oh, it's a classic. Like, what about, what is it? What is it?
How much it's quoted, we did a TikTok bit about, remember the Titans. This is,
right.
Years later.
2021.
It lives on forever.
Right.
As opposed to like, this is a Will Smith movie is a movie I want to watch on the bus or on a plane when I want to kill time and be entertained.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I'm not watching John Q on the plane.
Right.
And John Q's not a classic. But I'm saying like Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Training Day.
Yeah.
American Gangster is my favorite Denzel movie. Mm-hmm. But I guess that would be, I don't know. I just keep going back to, I don't want to just quote the entire scene, but I thought it was interesting is the scene of Entourage where he was talking about the difference between being a movie star and a great actor. And Vinny Chase's the character was saying, I can be in this movie, and Ari was saying, I don't think so. And he's like, what, you don't think I'm a great actor? He's like, I think you're a movie star. It's yet to be seen if you're a great actor. Because some people can make that transition. Some people can do both type of thing. Some people can start out, you can play you can start playing character. Here, I'll give you an example of somebody. Like a Matthew McConaughey, who early in his career was just kind of like, you're the rom-com guy. You're the fluff guy, and then he started taking roles where they were very serious roles, and he could really show off his acting ability.
I just remember him in True Detective.
Yeah,
was
and
really
I want to
fun.
say I can't remember if that was before or after Dallas Buyers Club, but
oh yeah,
whatever one was that was kind of the first one where you were like, oh shit,
Yeah.
This guy can act. Maybe even Mud. Mud was around there too, where it was just like, oh wow. So some guys can make that transition, and some guys can be that. But I do think there's a difference. And I want to. I'm not saying so. That doesn't mean Will Smith is a bad actor. Yeah. I just view them differently. Right. I hold like 5 or 10, both like men and women actors and actresses that are like, you're the elite of the elite. There's a lot of great actors and actresses, but there's a select few where it's just like you're just on a different level than everyone else.
Right.
And that I'd put a Denzel in there. I put a Christian Bale in there. I probably put Leo in there. I put
Tom Hanks.
I put Tom Hanks in there. I put Amy Adams as one of my favorite actresses. I put Amy Adams in there. I feel bad I can't think of more actresses.
Yeah, what about Scarlett Johansson?
Well, see, I love Scarlett Johansson.
More entertaining.
I don't want. See, this is where I feel bad. I don't want to like take it away from her because I find her so attractive.
I know that's tough.
I think she's a great actress. Mm-hmm. I think she's a great actress for sure. And I would say ultimately that's one of the reasons I'm attracted to her, is because like my number one girl for me is Margot Robbie, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Margot Robbie's beautiful. Who doesn't? Yeah. But I find it to be so much more attractive that I think she's also a really good actress.
Right.
Like the fact that she also is really talented at what she does.
Yeah. There's some where you're going like, yeah, this movie isn't doing it for me, but she looks really good.
Right.
And it's not the same as
that's
watching
kind of, if we're being honest,
as watching a Margot Robbie or a Scarlett, where it's like no, she's attractive, but also like
right. She's carrying this movie.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
This is a good movie.
Yeah. I remember a story that because I think her first movie was Wolf of Wall Street, which is a great first movie to get. And I remember Leo was giving an interview or something like that. Like, she was the one kind of like taking charge and like taking over the scenes. And for anyone, he was being on, like, I think he was trying to be like humble, but like normally that's not the case for me. You know, Leo saying like I'm, you know, and like for any actor or actress to do that, it kind of, you know, takes me by surprise. But especially someone in their first movie, like you could tell right away, oh, this is a star. Right. You know, this is you know, it's like a rookie coming up and just like acting like a vet, you know, right away. Yeah. And you're like, oh, this guy's, you know, stays healthy. We're talking Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. You know, like you can just kind of tell. Yeah. You know, early on.
There's just there's just the people you see that you know, it's in a weird spot.
30 minutes in, you decide to change it.
It was so disorienting. It was because it's like, you know, when have you ever done that eye test where you put your finger in front of your face and you focus on your finger, then you focus on like past your finger, and then focus on your finger?
I mean, I'm not that bored, but
no, it's like a vision. I do
it all the time. Okay, is that what you want me to say? Yeah. I know I've done it. Yeah. I got you.
It was kind of doing that where it's like I'm trying to focus on your face, but then I'm looking at the microphone, and I'm looking at your face. Okay. My eyes are tired.
So now it's good.
Now we're good.
Your eyes are tired looking at me. Is that what you're trying to say?
A little bit.
I just woke up. Okay. Cut me some slack. I love that we could just talk about like movies and actors and I love that shit. Honestly, I've because that was my thing when I first got from the time I first got drafted until. We talked about this until Blu-rays and DVDs became obsolete. That was what I spent a ton of money on, was like buying DVDs and so I'm just watching a ton of movies. And like honestly, like since streaming services and stuff, I don't watch as many movies. And it kind of I kind of miss it. Like, can you give me your number one actor or actress?
Number one actor or actress. Yeah. As much as I want to say a black person, I think I'm going Tom Hanks.
Okay. Yeah, I mean longevity. That's probably a good call. For right now, I would go Christian Bale. Yeah. Like when you look at the range of the characters he's played and how well he's played them, I'm like, it's
amazing.
Yeah. So that's where I go. Yeah, that's the number one actor in the world for me right now. Tom Hanks. I mean, Tom Hanks is a good one.
Tom Hanks, that's kind of a safe one. I feel like, because who's gonna be like, you know, I feel like that's like the, you know, okay, of course Tom Hanks, and then someone else is just gonna throw that, but no one's gonna be like, oh, you're crazy, Tom Hanks.
All right, fine, I'll say something controversial.
Say something. Yeah, give me a tough one.
I love Tom Hanks, love him. I think he is a great actor.
Nothing controversial yet. Okay.
I think he's somewhat more in the realm of when I'm talking about movie star than great actor.
Wow. Wow.
And what I ultimately want the takeaway to be is that's not meant to be a diss on anybody.
Right.
I think it's more, oh, Tom Hanks is in a movie. I can't wait to see it. It'll be good.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, whoa, he's really, taking over this movie right now.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy to me. And you know what is? There's nothing I can say.
Right.
Right. Like I can't like this is all subjective. Right. Like yeah, how you feel about an actor's work. Right. It's literally art.
But I guess my point is I'm a huge Tom Hanks guy.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump's one of my favorite movies of all time. Right. And he was great in Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more just lately. I just feel like within the past like 10, 15 years, a lot of his roles are like they're great, they're good, but it's like, yeah, I don't think he's like really straining himself to play this character here.
It makes it look easy.
I don't know, like maybe that's it. Is he makes it look too easy? Maybe. But I think I look at it more as like he's box office. You put Tom Hanks in the movie, I'm watching it, but I'm not like, oh my god, he's.
I mean, that's what's so tough because like.
So
a lot of the because who's a great actor that's not also box office? You know what I mean? Like if Christian Bale's in anything,
I don't think so. Out of a Furnace, is that box office? Have you ever heard of that movie?
It.
No, it's a great movie.
I love that movie.
That's a box office.
Yeah.
The Machinist or whatnot.
Which one is that?
The one he was like super skinny for.
I didn't see that.
Okay, yeah, because it's not box office.
But isn't that just kind of like he wants to do like I don't know, maybe a lower budget movie that doesn't get out there?
But I'm saying that's kind of different to me between box. A great actor is like, a Daniel Day-Lewis or it's just like it's about the character and it's about the role.
Right.
It's not about being an all-time.
Yeah, I'll have to do
highest grossing movie.
Yeah,
I'm probably
Tom
saying
Hanks hasn't done anything that doesn't gross a lot.
Listen. It's not his fault that everyone wants to see movies he's in. These are probably stupid points. Ultimately, I don't look at Tom Hanks the same way I look at some of the guys I've listed. And so
no, that's fair.
So that might be a little. What's your number one Tom Hanks movie?
I was just going through them in my head. So you got Forrest Gump, obviously, which is it's an all-time great movie to me. Right.
I think I got to be an acclaim for the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah,
Claim.
that's what I'm saying. You can like it's if someone brings it up in the conversation, you can't discount it.
Right.
God, I was thinking of him and now I can't name one. You never have that happen.
Yeah.
He's not the star, but
kind of put you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah, but Catch Me If You Can.
Okay.
That's
my brother-in-law's favorite movie.
It's such a good movie. And I don't know and I mean, did he carry it? No, probably not.
Well, who did?
Leo?
Great actor.
Yeah.
You pair a great actor with a movie star.
You're gonna get a really good movie. God,
I'm actually not
is Leo not a movie star too?
Well, I think ultimately a great actor is also a movie star, but a movie star is not necessarily a great actor.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is a great actor. I'm not,
right. Then he is
you
both.
Can be a movie
you're
star.
You're saying he's more of a movie star than he is a great actor?
Right. I think ultimately.
I think that is your. I think that. I don't think that's. I want to say that's a hot take, but I don't think you're crazy for it. But I think that is. That's
but I just want to say you can be a movie star and not be a great actor.
Yes.
But I would probably in today's day and age, if you're a great actor, you're probably also a movie star.
I'm sure. As I don't know, maybe you're more into the indie films than I'm sure there's some actors that like I haven't heard of yet. Right. But you usually end up hearing. But I don't know. I imagine there's great actors in just that they just chose never to get into movies that made it to my eyes.
I gotta be honest. I'm not a big Catch Me If You Can guy.
Are you not?
That's what I just said.
Yeah, just confirming.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've noticed I'm not a Spielberg guy. Who's obviously very popular.
You impressed me with like how much you recognize directors. Right. Like I know the Tarantinos, and that's about it.
Because I don't, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I realized, in movies, it's important to know the people that are making them. Especially if there's I
think the word is motif.
I don't know if you know where I'm going with it, but I don't think that's where I was looking for. But I just noticed so many people would be like, oh yeah, my top 5 favorite movies are, and it's like, oh, all 5 of those were made by the same people, or were written by the same people,
Right.
produced by the same. So like, you obviously have, there's a style in there that you like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you start going on the list and like, oh, those are all Christopher Nolan movies. I had that with a girl I met a while ago. We were obviously didn't go anywhere, but we were talking about like movies, and her top 5 were like all Christopher Nolan movies. I was like, oh, so you like Christopher Nolan?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. I'm like, oh, he's the one who wrote and directed all of those movies you like, you know?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, but I just like love the, you know, music. And I'm like, oh, so you like Hans Zimmer? You know, he scores all of it. You know, it's just, I think it's good to know that, because like, obviously if that's your favorite. So like, I started noticing, to me, and I think studios do this too, because that's why these guys make so much money, is that you have a better chance probably of a guaranteed hit with a great director than you do with great actors. Great actors are in bad movies sometimes, you know, it's out of their hands, you know. I mean, has Scorsese ever had a flop? You know, has Tarantino ever had a flop? Christopher Nolan, these guys, like, they don't have flops. They have some movies that are better than other movies, but like, yeah, you're getting at least a good movie at the very least.
Right.
And I realized and I don't necessarily think Spielberg's movies are bad, but I noticed for where he's put as one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. Like, yeah, I don't enjoy his movies as much as other guys.
War of the Worlds
Yeah.
was Spielberg, correct?
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
Is that the one with Tom Cruise?
That's with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Didn't do it
for a while.
He his
Do you
best.
remember? Okay, that was an Alien one.
I'll just say he was Saving Private Ryan, which I'll say I thought was a good movie.
Very good movie.
But other than that, a lot of his I was just like, yeah, they don't do it for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, obviously, I like Catch Me If You Can.
I'm saying the reason I think Catch Me If You Can got so much publicity is because you had a Spielberg movie with Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio.
I also think it's an amazing movie.
I think most people just right off the bat, it's like, I'm going into it, that's an amazing movie because it's Spielberg, Leo, and Tom Hanks.
Right.
How could it not be?
Right.
Where I'm like,
Also, Christopher Walken.
Right. A lot of people. Amy Adams is in it at a young age.
Which one was Amy Adams?
She was the one that he was going to marry with, like, she had braces, and when she was the nurse, and they were like going to run off, and you know, a young Amy Adams, probably one of her first roles.
I never. You just informed me of that.
There's a lot of people. Jennifer Garner is in it for.
I think I knew that. She was the actor that he stole the money from.
Was it? She was one that was like, I thought, like a prostitute or something like that.
I guess she was. Yeah, no,
I don't remember. If
I'm the idiot that believed the prostitute when she said she was like a movie star or something. No, I think she was a.
There was a good amount of people that had like little cameos in there that have gone to be famous.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was one of those where people just expected it to be great, so they just went with it is great. Whereas I'm saying, if I'm judging this objectively, I thought the movie was okay. Like, I consider it Leo's worst movie.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. That honestly says more about
Leo's career. No,
how great his career has been.
Yeah, because it's not it's not
a bad movie. It's good. I enjoy watching it, but I don't. It's my brother-in-law's favorite movie. He talks about it all the time. I'm like, it's both of. I was like, the way how highly I think of Leo and Tom Hanks. I'm like, I feel like it's both of their worst movie.
What about what do you got on Captain Phillips?
I thought it was better than Catch Me If You Can. See, okay, so this is what I'll say about Tom Hanks. He crushed Captain Phillips, I thought.
Because Captain Phillips, because
that movie
it could be terrible.
That movie, honestly, would be someone's rebuttal to my claim that he's not a great actor. Because he carries that movie, I feel like. Okay. That movie is a movie about, you know, a captain of a cargo ship. Yeah, you know, there's a story of it obviously being, you know, taken over or whatnot. That could easily be kind of a boring movie.
I would say that is probably my least memorable Tom Hanks movie.
I'm just saying I'm just saying the way he carries it.
Yeah.
I feel like would be like, oh yeah. I don't know. Listen, all this is just my opinion.
Right.
But there are some times where I'm like, this actor carried this movie.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't think it's easy to do. And it can be a movie where I'm like, I didn't even think that movie was that good, but I thought it was impressive that he carried that movie. You know? Yeah. I'll give you another example. This is turning to movie critics. Like, I would consider Flight one of Denzel's worst movies.
Right.
but he carries that movie. And part of me was like, even though I'm like not that into this movie, I'm like, there's not that many people that could make it even as entertaining as he's making it.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of what you're talking about, where it's like it's a Denzel movie, so like Denzel's good in it? You know what I mean? Like,
It could be, but I'm saying I just genuinely think he is good at it.
like what's the one where he's like he's the guy. So he did two with, well, they're not both trains, I don't think. Do you count the subway counts as trains? So they are both trains.
Think about like the taking of
Pelham 1, 2, 3 is the one I was thinking of, where it's kind of like I don't think that's a great movie.
No, he probably owed the studio for something.
Right, and then you watch it and kind of the same thing. You'd be like, oh, that movie is terrible without Denzel, and it's like, well, it's because he has that reputation now.
That's fair. I would say ultimately that was a miss on his part of taking that movie.
It was a tough movie.
I got that being his agent or the studio was like, hey man, we'll make this one for you want, but can you be in this movie for us? Type of thing. Yeah. Is he the bad guy in it?
No, that's John Travolta.
Okay, that's right. I knew there was some like big time actor where it was like, I remember thinking like, oh, you're a bad guy in a movie, or like that type of bad guy or whatnot.
John Travolta's been the bad guy a good amount.
I mean, if you're going to consider him the bad guy in Pulp Fiction, that's fine. I don't necessarily.
I was going to say no. I was going to say, isn't he the bad guy in The Punisher?
The movie? I don't know if I've ever seen the movie The Punisher. I've seen the TV show The Punisher.
Yeah, the movie The Punisher with Thomas Jane.
I guess he's the bad guy in Swordfish too.
He is the bad guy in Swordfish. The bad guy.
That's another great actor. Is Hugh Jackman.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wolverine?
I think I go with range. The fact that how many different characters he can play. If you look at his whole filmography, that's the word you were looking for.
If we talk long enough, we can find out any word.
If you look at his whole filmography, I mean, the guy can do musicals. Guy can be Wolverine. Guy can, Prisoners. He can, be the dad that's struggling or whatnot. He can, he can be the good guy. He can be the bad guy. I just feel like his range is impressive. And I think I look at that, like even Tom Hanks, going back to Tom Hanks, I remember he was I can't remember which one, but he was like, it's a kind of a viral video. He was giving an interview somewhere. I guess he had passed on.
Wait, I'm sorry. Saving Private Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks. Okay.
I gave Saving Private Ryan.
No, you did. No, you did. Because I remember like I was being embarrassed by how like I couldn't think of like a movie other than Forrest Gump. It was like a really good movie with Tom Hanks. And it was like, okay, there, I got one.
Okay, right. You want me to go through more? I can.
No. I'm embarrassed enough.
No, he was giving an interview where I guess he had, I don't know if he turned down the role or was never, but they were asking, I think he had like turned down the role of Batman, the one that Michael Keaton ended up playing.
Okay.
And he was kind of joking, like, could you imagine me, Tom Hanks is saying this, could you imagine me as Batman? And I was like, no, I don't think you could play Batman.
Yeah.
Like, you're a great actor, but like, you can't just play anything.
Right.
And I'm saying, so there's only a handful of people that like they can play anything. Yeah. They can transform their body. They can transform their voice.
What if Denzel Washington ends up being Batman?
That'd be crazy. He's a little old for that.
He is a little old.
But it was funny because Tom Hanks, in his like high pitched voice, he was like, "Could you imagine like I grab somebody?" He's like, "I'm Batman," like in his like Tom Hanks voice. It's like it doesn't work. He's like it doesn't work. And he was like, I knew I couldn't do it, so that's why I did do the role.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you watch a Christian Bale, or like I'd even throw Hugh Jackman in there of like the range of different types of movies, like there'd probably be something that's like, yeah, I didn't even realize he was in that, because it's like, yeah, you're right, like just his like from his body changed,
right? Right.
Like his voice changes, his body changes, like it's just like he really embraces that role,
right?
All right, man. I'm Batman.